So my name is Robin Price. I'm an ex-Red Hatter. I was with Red Hat for about 12 years. Left Red Hat and went to basically a competitor, Docker, for about a year. Left Docker and went to a container forensics company called Sysdig. And about that time, that's when IBM decided to take on Red Hat. And I left Sysdig, went to IBM for their services department, and they needed help being able to build out their Red Hat organization, being able to position them better in the market. And now I am with the side of IBM where they broke off with a services company called Kyndryl. Over at Kyndryl, I am a director for the hybrid cloud and automation team, where we go and we help customers be able to deliver any of their key strategies around containers, applications, infrastructures, things of that nature. One of the things that what we're trying to do at Kyndryl is essentially build out the developer platforms. And the talk before us, you kind of heard about them actually introducing the developer platform model. In fact, Gartner is projecting in 2024 that most companies are going to be actually utilizing some sort of developer platform. And what that means is being able to work in a better way of doing delivery. So what we're trying to do at Kyndryl, and we'll probably even be able to talk with you guys afterwards on how we can probably partner on doing delivery services for you guys, is we're starting to notice that customers are coming to us and saying, you know, I have this container strategy, or I need an automation strategy, or you know, they're on their third iteration of a container strategy. And the problem is they're really just trying to solve a problem. And every time that they face this problem, they want to be able to introduce some sort of new tool, or they want to be able to, you know, come in and say, hey, can you solve this one problem, but without taking a step back and looking at the overall issue that's at play. And what that is when we look at customers, or the ones that we're helping doing the services and deployments of this, what we're facing is customers are having a hard time actually doing delivery. There's a delivery problem within the application space, and there's also a delivery problem within the infrastructure space. So what we're trying to do is marry the two together so that you can actually have your developers be able to deliver in a more efficient and a lot easier way. And so what we're doing is when we work with these teams and these companies, we have actually broke it down to 5 sections. So if any of these speak to you in terms of the problems that you're trying to solve, then this is something that we need to have a discussion with you and Kyndryl, and we can come in and help strategize with you and co-create these problems. So one of the things that we've noticed is we're trying to reduce cognitive load. Think about the amount of time customers are having to go in and fix problems and then try to repeat those and try to share those amongst different teams. There's a lot of times when you guys are chasing a lot of these issues and not really being able to deliver and be able to essentially create the way you need to. So what we're trying to do as Kyndryl, we're trying to help you reduce cognitive load between your teams. We're trying to also improve the availability of your applications, resiliency of the products, being able to resolve the issues once and try to codify that so that you don't have to keep solving that same problem over and over. We want to be able to accelerate the product development, so that means being able to work a lot better with your infrastructure teams. A lot of these developers, they don't want to sit around and have to figure out where they need to develop or where they're trying to develop their applications. We want them to be able to go into a unified platform, which is what the speakers were talking about earlier before me, where you just want to go in and just check a box on where you want your application to go. Wouldn't it be nice if you were doing development work and you're just like, I want to be able to deploy here with these kind of network requirements into this type of cloud, and you're just doing check boxes, and then that platform automatically goes and creates all the repositories you need, all the patterns you need, and you don't have to worry about it. The developer doesn't have to worry about any of that anymore. All the developer has to worry about is the inputs needed to interact with the infrastructure teams. So that's where the concept of this developer platform is coming to. We want to reduce the risk of security. We don't want security to be a tag at the very end. we want to make that to be something that's introduced in the very beginning. That should just be a default. Developers shouldn't have to worry about all that. And of course, we want to be, cost effective and productive use of the services whenever you're doing this. So if any of these really line up with what you're trying to do, then the development platform is going to be something that you're going to have to look to incorporate later down. So I know it's a little bit small here, but that's okay. But there's multiple lines of businesses that are happening within your company. There's different kinds of applications that are happening, and there's a lot of custom applications that different lines of businesses are creating. And if you look at the three at the bottom here, there's going to be infrastructure platforms, there's going to be cloud native, there could be mainframe, there's going to be the IT shared services, the DevOps toolings that you're looking at, the runtime tooling platforms, business shared services, so this could be the internal development platform at the very top, and it'll automatically work with all of these lines of the business and even the different shared services within the IT infrastructure. But the idea is to drive everybody into a very similar platform so that they can have an easier way of being able to deliver and develop applications. So we've basically broke this down. This is a very similar slide you guys had too, where we've kind of broke it down into 7 stages. You want to be able to plan, code, verify, stage, deploy, operate, and observe. We have basically been able to break this down on where you guys need to focus on an application delivery and also on the infrastructure delivery side of it. And this is where we'll come in and co-create with you on how you want to build this out. Now, one of the things that's very interesting from the last talk was there's very specific tool sets that are introduced. What we're coming in as Kyndryl is we are coming in and being able to prop you up with the tools you already have. We are coming in and saying, hey, what do you already have in place that you're trying to essentially do delivery? And we'll come in and we'll basically assess that, that environment with you. And then we'll come up with a strategy with you, co-create that strategy, and then we'll go in and we'll deliver it the way you need to do it. We've actually broken this down into a reference architecture. Never know how this will ever present on a large screen. I'm hoping that you guys can actually see this a little bit. But there's an application delivery side of this and an infrastructure side of this, okay? And kind of like in a kernel idea, the kernel kind of talks with the application, and then it talks to the hardware a little bit. If you look right in the middle, there's a shared set of services that actually happen between application delivery teams and infrastructure. So you're going to see there's some sort of source control management. There's going to be some sort of code compile, infrastructure as code. There's going to be CD, CI/CD. And when we actually break this down and we look at the infrastructure, we start bringing in the teams and we start analyzing this. We do have steps that come in as Kyndryl where we'll start introducing the ideas and the workflow and the ideology that we have around being able to bring these teams together into a unified platform. And when you look at this, this is where we start kind of pushing into technology. Now, I know this might look like a NASCAR slide. We're not trying to promote any tools here necessarily, but this just gives you an idea of what tools would be in play. And we've actually done this for several customers where we come in and we introduce the tool sets that they already have to be able to basically build this unified platform. But the main thing here, if you look, is going to be what we're presenting, not only to deliver this particular platform, but we do have something, and depending on how good your eyes are, mine are really bad, I can't even see it this close, is going to be the microgenerator. And the microgenerator that Kyndryl's bringing to the table is if you have let's say you have an application you've already created, Node.js, whatever, we have a tool that will be able to bring in your application and it will start automatically building out the repositories. It'll automatically start bringing in all of the variable sets that you need based on whatever tooling you already have in your environment. So if we come in and we assess that you have JFrog, or let's say that you have Active Directory, and we notice that you're using Podman, whatever it is, we'll plug that into our microgenerator. So when you bring your application to us and we run it through, it'll automatically go and build out the repositories you need so that you can start hooking up into different areas of the business. So maybe there is AWS, maybe there is Azure, maybe there's something else that, maybe there's other platforms that other, groups are having. We'll be able to plug and play with you guys very easily through the microgenerator that we have. It's actually really cool. We have this on demo. We could definitely demo for you, and we can even go in and say, hey, if any of you are here, if this is interesting to you, let me know, because we'll actually come in and assess what you have, and we'll just do a live demo for you. We have all the patterns and all of the techniques that we need to be able to plug and play all this into. This is our approach. This is a very simple plan: workshop, assess, design, implement. Don't want to bore you with the details here. This is just really our simple approach. We do have more of a direct modernization partner kind of delivery that we could do, where we come in, we envision and design, we'll adopt and also evolve whatever you're trying to do. But the main thing I really want to get down to is this particular slide here. Again, put on your reading glasses. The idea is the front end, say if you had a Python or a Node.js application, we would want to come in and bring it into the IDP platform and run it through our microgenerator. And what that microgenerator will do is it'll start creating all of these patterns. So the patterns could be EC2, it could be GCE, it could be Azure storage, cloud storage, whatever it is that we assess in your environment, we've already created it for you. We've already done the due diligence. We already have the templates, the patterns, the playbooks. All of that's already been created for you, because every time that we've interacted with a customer at Kyndryl, we have essentially saved those abilities that we've worked with customers, and we're bringing it into the next customer sets. So all of this stuff has been created. Any kind of patterns, let's say it's Terraform or Ansible, and all of this is going to be working with the backend with OpenShift, or whatever it is that you have in your environment. But Windows, Rail, I don't know if you guys still even call it Rail these days, but Red Hat Enterprise Linux. I want to make sure that marketing is okay with me saying that. But Windows, Red Hat, whatever it is, we'll go out and already have those patterns created for your application to be able to use. So it's just really a plug and play model, being able to do your delivery and being able to do it a lot faster, a lot more efficient, reduce the cognitive load, introduce the security platforms that you already need whenever you go into creating your application. So it's really just getting to the point where you just develop, click the buttons that you want, and then just go deploy without having to worry about all this other stuff that you have to worry about within the infrastructure. Does that make sense? Don't really have too much other than that, but the biggest thing for us is we really want to make sure that we have this reference architecture for you. This is really just how we're going about staging our developer platforms. We just want to come in, work with you. The service catalog here is a representation of the IDP. Agile planning, if you guys are doing ADO, whatever it is, by the way, whatever planning that you're doing, we'll come in and work with you on that too. So we use ADO a lot. But the idea here is to be able to hook into the microgenerator, run through this particular steps, and be able to observe at the very end, to be able to deploy your applications a lot quicker, a lot more efficient, and reduce downtime.